this is a pro. This is like a full-time pro. Cry, but kia ora and welcome. My name's ZoeStibi and I'm your vocal coach for today. We're going to take a look at Jessica Sanchez with Die With A Smile. She won, people. Who would have thought? Honestly, from her first audition, I was just like, this woman can sing. Anyways, Zoe, shut up. Let's just have a look at what she's up to with her vocal technique.
I just woke up from a dream. You and I, we had to say goodbye. I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night.
I have to have a little look. When did she have her baby before the final? Okay, I just wanted to double check whether she'd already had the baby before this performance, but you have to understand. There is a lot going on in her body already. She's got all of this going on, the nerves with the baby pushing up underneath the ribs. That's going to be causing a little bit of instability in terms of the breath support that's going to be able to go on. We'll talk a little bit about the weight of these sorts of things on the voice. There's a definite darkening going on in the sound, and that can often be due to the sheer weight of the baby, of the stomach, pulling down. It can sort of like darken the sound a little bit. Let's just go back on that. This is beautiful. My God, bravo, Jessica. Talk about taking an opportunity and like running with it.
From a dream, you and I, we had to say goodbye. I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's...
So you can see there as well, she goes, wherever you go. She's breathing short and high. Now that's really how we want to be breathing for this style of singing anyway. Short phrases, wherever you go, that's where I follow. Vocal folds are just open there, but she's not pushing a whole bunch of breath. It's actually quite quiet. Look how close she is to the microphone.
But since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was...
I mean, talk about it. You go for it, Jessica. So we heard the little bit of a flip there. Let's just go back on that. And again, I'm not pointing out mistakes to poo-poo Jessica. She's amazing. She won. She's a beautiful singer. I want to show you what's happening with this little flip here.
Nobody's promised tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I just wanted to show you what was going on there. So we've got a tomorrow around those notes. We've gone from the falsetto down into the chest voice there in that little flip. But did you notice it? Probably not, because it doesn't really matter. A little bit of instability in that sound, as I said, due to this beautiful baby weight that she's got going on in the front here that can cause a little bit of instability, but it can actually sometimes help to stabilize the sound as well. So I'm like, I know, conundrum, right? We'll talk about that in the next break though, because I'm sure she's going to show us a bit more of the stability.
Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I don't wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while and die with a smile.
Okay, so you can really hear that. Look, let's just go back on that because I want you to see that she's quite close to the microphone. And I talked a little bit about what is going on in these support systems. So when you've got all this weight going on here in the front, you're obviously needing to lean back in order to make sure that you don't tip forward, okay? And so what's going on is you've often got a lot more work going on in the back muscles, which helps us to stabilize these smaller muscles going on here in the larynx. So that can help with stability. The instability can come from not being able to properly engage those breathing out muscles that we need in the abdominals and in the sides of the ribs. So this is kind of where the conundrum comes in. Stability, instability as well a little bit. Let's just go back a little bit on that because we've gone into actually quite a thick vocal fold sound, but it sounds like it's going really far up in the range. You go, I wanna hold you. Could you see that? You go, whoa. That's also another way that we're going to engage through those upper back muscles. Watch that again. And they go, I wanna hold you. And that arm as well, going to be helping to engage those lat muscles as she's taking that mixed voice with thicker vocal folds further up in the range. And then, I wanna hold you. That is usually the arytenoids. I was going to say it in like the American way. They don't know why. The arytenoids. The arytenoids rocking together. It's a rattle. I wanna hold you. But we're doing it before the onset of the tone. It's like, I wanna hold you. So the speed in which you get off that rattle onto the note helps to make it kind of like appear like you're rattling on the note. So you go, woo, you saw that quite closed mouth position there. That's going to really help to keep, well, basically to keep the air back. Yeah, we're not going, woo, we're going, woo. We need a smaller mouth position there. But you can see that when she's going, oh, the party was over. She's opening the mouth a little bit more there. That's a lot to do with the knock-on effect about the acoustics of the mouth position and the kind of the role they play with the vocal folds there. Let's just watch that again.
And our time on earth was through. I wanna hold you just for a while.
Oh, goodness me. I mean, look, this is the difference of what I said in the last video that I did with Jessica Sanchez. You know, this is a pro. This is like a full-time pro, regardless of whether she's been earning money from her music for the last couple of years or not. This is a very well-oiled machine. This is stable. There's not a note out of tune. This is like, even with her movement, this is what we train to do, people. To have this kind of level of looking effortless on stage, this is years and years and years of work gone into this. So Jessica, I just want to say, like, I'm upset that these shows have kind of become so much about basically just pros getting on stage, because that's not what they're sold as. But I'm very happy that someone like Jessica has had this opportunity, and I really, really hope that she's allowed to take this opportunity and run with it, because unfortunately the contracts that you sign in these shows are like watertight, but it seems like Simon really likes her. So I really hope that she does go far with this and is given that opportunity to continue her career, because it's often not they're not the reason why. It's often, unfortunately, the record labels that then end up holding you back in the end. So you go, wanna be next. So we've got that. You can see that next. She's sort of pulling back. I mean, that's a lot to do with like sort of the acting of making it look more effortful, because it'd be very boring to watch a singer kind of do the way that they would usually do it in the studio. But you go, wanna be next. Lots of thyroid tilt going on there. The thyroid is actually where the vocal folds live, and it's the main difference between speaking and singing. So we're looking to really wanna be next, and a little bit of AES narrowing there as well. Yeah, got that cry going on, and that's what's helping us to take that thicker vocal fold, not quite 100% chest voice, so it's that thicker vocal fold further up in the range. Beautiful. You. Oh God, that was a few Luke. I'm not going to do that again. I don't have a very flexible voice, unfortunately. So, wow, that was woo. So we've got that falsetto sound there, but she comes very close to the microphone. The microphone, please listen. Okay, I got caught up on my own. This microphone is an extension of the pop singer's instrument. We're using the microphone to our advantage. To you! Oh my goodness me, that was another fluke. Not going to do it again. And we're needing to make sure that the mouth shape is fitting. We're singing right into the microphone and coming close so that we're not blowing air. So it's so much, unfortunately, in the studio. Like when singers want to go breathy, they're just like pushing air, and that's what causes them to unfortunately go out quite out of tune.
If the party was over and our time on earth was through,
you can hear that through and going through that transition there. The change through the passaggio is actually one of the most difficult changes, because we're actually going through that laryngeal tilt, but we're also changing the vocal fold closure. We're going from the chest voice, which is very thick. A lot of the vocal fold is touching into a thinner vocal fold closure, and that change is really what we're looking to work on and to perfect in our singing. I always like to call it the Bermuda Triangle of singing, because it's one of the trickiest parts of the voice to train. But I have the perfect exercise for you. You can check it out in the description below in my Warm Up Like a Pro download. I include this exercise that I'm talking about to be able to go through your passaggio seamlessly. I include it in that download because it's like literally the only exercise I do with all my students.
just for a while, and die with a smile. If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
This is just a really perfect example of how you don't have to do a whole bunch of freaking fireworks in order to give a really lovely performance. This is just so beautiful. She's commanding our attention. Obviously, the confetti and all of the schnick-schnack, does make a big difference in that. But just such a beautiful stand there, microphone performance. Just the connection to the lyric as well is just so beautiful. Down with a smile. So actually we're not in a full chest voice sound when we're further up. Then you might have heard the words like mix floating about. I do talk about it a little bit here on the channel. It's thicker vocal folds taken further up in the range, but we must allow the vocal folds to thin. Down breathe. And we do that through that laryngeal tilt, but also through the AES narrowing in order to help not only to close the vocal folds, but also it helps to boost the sound without having to push. Only problem is with like AES narrowing often gets, I talk about it as kind of being twang as well. Unfortunately, it does take away a lot of the lower frequencies in the voice. So you notice that with that down with a smile, you can't really be up there and have a hell of a lot of depth to the sound as well, which is why she's changing between world was ending, because that creates the balance, and we sort of then like imagine those darker sounds in those higher notes. But it takes a special kind of voice to be able to create a very dark, like very high sound. Beautiful flexibility. Did you notice that though that her jaw did not, can't remember the thing, her jaw didn't move, because we don't necessarily want the jaw to move, because when the jaw moves, it's often showing us there's a bit of jaw tension going on, or that actually the tongue is moving as well, which is what we don't want. I actually saw a vocal coach this week, or was it last week, online talking about how micro movements of the tongue can really help with their riffs and runs, okay? But actually, I'll get a little bit closer so that you know this. We do not want to use the tongue or the jaw in order to change the pitch. The pitch change occurs here at the level of the larynx. What we do use the tongue for is we use it to help us with those micro changes in the pitch, to help us with the resonance. But we actually need the pitch to be sitting well, because sometimes you can sit on the right pitch, but due to the tongue position, that can then hinder the way in which the sound comes out. So it can make it either sound flat or sharp. So then once the pitch is sitting, we tweak the tongue movement. But I need you to know that we do not ever want the tongue to be involved in the actual pitching process. The pitch and the laryngeal movement need to be occurring separately from the tongue. Okay, the tongue will move a little bit with the larynx. The tongue is actually connected into the larynx, but I do take issue with people saying that the micro movements of the tongue, you have no control over that, none whatsoever, about going like, don't try. Welcome to my TED talk, okay? It really pissed me off, actually, because unfortunately it shows it, then you go away and you practice this shit and you're just like, oh no, I can't sing because I can't do these micro movements of my tongue. Ugh, really annoys me. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Jessica didn't do micro movements of her tongue. She might have done, but we didn't have a scope. Only a doctor could tell us that.
Jessica Sanchez! Sophia! Wow!
I mean, what can I say? It's like,
Okay, so they've already basically just, I'm not going to watch that. I really do encourage you that you watch the whole thing, because, I'm just going to have a little bit of a cry, but I just love that at her audition, she talked about how she kind of fell out of love of music and she stopped singing for a long period of time. And I just love to see people when they find their passion again for something that they really do burn for, and I like to call it finding your truth again and finding your way, because we're all allowed to have moments where we, take some time away. I, for example, took 10 years off playing the guitar. I've also taken actually quite a long time off from singing due to some sort of like health issues that I've been having. But, finding your way back to it is just, there's something beautiful about that. So I'm like seeing myself a little bit in Jessica, although I didn't win AGT but I was just sort of, I'm so happy for her. So congratulations. So I just want to say congratulations, Jessica. I just want to wish you all the best. And And I really hope that, you're allowed to just like run with this win, because I'm just so happy, and congratulations on your baby girl. Wow, 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 wow. Let's just have a little look at the end of that, because again, I feel like today I'm a little bit like, we would say, in German, they would say like poisonous. It's like maybe that's like a little bit too strong, but I'm feeling like a little bit titchy about some things that I've been seeing online. One of my students actually asked me about the mouth placement, and because she'd seen online that a vocal coach was talking about how if you can't see your uvula, which is the little thing that hangs down in your mouth, if you can't see your uvula when you're singing, your mouth is not open enough. Let's just go and watch Jessica in the end of the song, and I want you to watch her mouth position. Did you see her uvula? No, I don't. Maybe when she go, down with a smile. Yeah, there you did. Because when we are going for those higher, thicker vocal fold closure sounds, we need more of a trumpet mouth shape. And it's acoustics. It's acoustics. We need the trumpet mouth shape in order to be able to get that thicker vocal fold closure. I talk a lot about that inside my online singing school, the Vocal Academy. It's a little bit too complicated for just a quick YouTube video, so check it out in the description below. We can teach you to sing like this, to sing higher and louder. Everybody has it in them. So if you're wanting to learn how to do that, check it out in the description below. But you could see that when she was going into the quieter sound, and in this last section of the sound, she actually closed her mouth quite a bit. This is a beautiful example of how we don't want to just have one rule to rule them all, but we really want to have a flexibility within the voice, and within the voice, I'm talking about the entire vocal tract from the lips right down to the larynx itself. We're wanting to have flexibility so that we can move things around in order to create the sounds that we're trying to create. And this is what we're trying to create, a quieter sound. So we're going to chuck something in the way, such as our lips and our teeth. That's hard to you, but that closed vowel shape actually, it helps us to actually flip into that falsetto halfway, which is what she did there. But to be honest, most professional singers, which Jessica is a very highly trained professional singer, I'll say it time and time again, most professional singers will be able to pretty much hit any note on any vowel. This is what we train to do so that we don't have to do like crazy amounts of vowel modification all the time. But let's just watch this. Closed mouth shape. Must be bad singing, right? Because she's, got her mouth closed and everything. She didn't just win an AGT. I mean, she sounds like a bloody angel. Is she not just also like a beautiful woman? My goodness me. She sounds incredible. She looks lovely. Goodness me, beautiful, beautiful. She just seems like she's a really nice person, actually. I don't know her from a bar of soap, but she seems like she's a very nice person. So, I love that. And I'm sorry that, if I kind of like broke some of your ideals about singing in this video. It's not about having one way to sing. There isn't just one way to sing. There are a whole bunch of exceptions to any of these rules. And that's why really when it comes to singing, we don't just have one rule. We have really personalized things. It's very different depending on where you come from, what language you speak, what accent you're used to, what singing experience do you have, what sound do you want to have. It's all very dependent, which is why... And I kind of want to get a little bit on the soapbox here because that's why, I've recently had an influx of people coming to join the Vocal Academy who have been doing these online courses here and there. And they're like, Zoe, it's just not helping me. The reason why it's not helping you is because if you really want to work on your singing voice, you have to get one-to-one singing lessons. Sorry, I'm not going to lie to you. You have to get personalized feedback because if I'm going to say one thing to you, it might not apply to you. Okay, it might not apply to you. If I'm to say like sing louder there, you might not need to sing louder. You might actually need to sing quieter. And I've got quite a number of singers in the studio who actually we work on singing quieter in general, because singing too loud, or over singing we call it, ends up making the pitch go off. They end up straining. They can't sing for very long. They feel like they're getting tired. And it all really ends up being that you feel like you can't sing, when really all it was is someone needed to say to you, hey, you need to come into one-to-one singing lessons. And that's why I've changed everything about the Vocal Academy. We are no longer offering pre-recorded lessons. Everything is live. You come on for your live masterclasses, your live practice groups, your live group coaching, and you have your live one-to-one singing lessons every single month. That's what I stand by. I know that it works. Come and join us if you really want to work on your vocal technique. Check out the links in the description below. I've also got some freebies there as well. Join me for a call so we can discuss your vocal goals. Jessica's incredible, and if you want to reach her level, you can do it. It's just going to take a little bit of work, so I'll see you there. Check out some more Jessica up here, and just remember, bloody anyone can learn to sing, yeah? Anybody. So get into some singing lessons and stop, pissing about. We're going to work on this for 2025. We're taking on new students right now. Get in, get calling. I'm going to get off. I need to go and have a coffee now. I've gotten so excited about this. I'll see you in the Academy. Ka kite anō.